What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sunday morning, our Hall of Faith series. I came today in my cape. I don't know if you guys still do this, but when I was a kid and we were playing superheroes, we'd take a pillowcase and we'd tie it around our shoulders with a hair tie. That's how we would play. I'm older now, so I had to use a sheet because I'm a lot bigger. But I thought it'd be a fun reminder that our series is about the heroes of the Bible, and what made them heroes is their faith, that they trusted in God, that they chose to trust God even though they couldn't necessarily see what He was doing. So that's what we're talking about. We've been talking about it. We've been going through Noah. We did Abraham. This week, I want you guys to guess by the pictures who we're talking about. What do you guys think? We've talked about him last year a lot, probably for a couple of months, if you could see on the picture. What do you guys think? Who do you think it is? I'm not going to give it away. He got put in a river when he was a baby. Something about a burning bush and a sea that was parted. What do you guys think? It was Moses. Today we're talking about Moses again. He was a great guy. He had great faith. And that's why we're talking about him today, okay? So pay attention to the screen as we go. Just a reminder of our verse that faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance for what we do not see. It's being sure of what we can't see right now. And we're going to be confident in that. We're really going to believe it. And that's going to cause us to act a certain way. Okay? So Moses gives us a perfect example of that. We're going to go through his life. And you guys are probably going to remember a lot about it. But before we do that, what I want you to think about when we think of faith is faith has to do with a lot of times a change of plans. And I was thinking about that because sometimes we have a plan, but somebody else has a different plan. And we have to decide what plan are we going to follow. And I'm going to show you a little video because it reminds me of a time that me and Jeff had different plans. And I had to decide what plan was I going to follow, mine or Jeff. So this is just a fun video. I was scrolling through my phone and I found this. And you're going to be a little confused at first, but hopefully after you see the video and I tell you the story, it'll make more sense, okay? So let's watch. Okay, pretty simple. What was that? An airplane? I took that video on my phone from my car, and what happened was me and Jeff drove to the airport one night. But before we got there, Jeff kind of messed up my plan because I had a plan that day. I had a lot to do. It was my Friday that I didn't have to work, so I got a lot to clean. I had to go to the store. And I was working on my lesson for you guys for that Sunday. And I just had all this planned that I had to get done. And that was my plan. And then at about 3 in the afternoon, Jeff called me. And he told me that he wanted to go on an adventure. And that we should go to LAX, which is the airport in LA. And we should go watch planes. Which we actually love to do. We're kind of weird. We like to go watch planes. Just sit and watch them. I don't know why that's our thing. We think it's fun. But sounds exciting, but it wasn't my plan for the day. I wasn't planning to do that, so I kind of got a little stressed out. And I kept telling him, Jeff, I have so much to do. I don't think I could get it all done so that we could get out to the airport to watch airplanes. And he kept saying, okay, Sarah, we'll just get as much done as you can, and then when I get home from work, we'll go. Just trust me. He just kept saying, just trust me. So he called me again later, before he got home, and he said, did you get everything done? And I said, no, I'm not done yet. I don't think I can get it all done. And I was stressing out because my plan wasn't complete, right? My plan for the day was not getting done. He said, Sarah, just do your lesson for Sunday. Don't worry about the other stuff. I'm going to come home and we'll head to the airport. Just trust me. And I was kind of getting irritated with him because I had a plan, and it was stressing me out that my plan wasn't getting done. But he kept telling me, just trust me. So Finally, I trusted him. I did my lesson for you guys because that was the most important part of my plan. I got that done, and when Jeff got home, we headed out to the airport. We went and watched airplanes. That was just one of them. And we watched them for a little while, probably 30 minutes, and then at the end of it, Jeff starts driving through the airport where you would pick people up. And he told me we were doing it because it was when there weren't a lot of planes going by. And because they stopped flying because of the coronavirus. So I think we're driving through just to see how empty the airport is. And Jeff says, look for your sister. I was so confused. I was like, what do you mean look for your sister? My sister wouldn't be here. So I started looking, and I look ahead, and who's there? My sister Beth. They had surprised me. Beth flew out to see us from Texas, and Jeff was trying to surprise me. He had a better plan, and I didn't want to do his plan. I wanted to do my plan. But because I trusted him, I got this great surprise, and I was so happy I even cried a little bit because I was so happy to see her. And it made me think about faith that we're talking about for the next couple of weeks. Because faith has to do with us having a plan for ourselves and God having a plan that's greater. And even though we can't see the plan God has, we're going to trust him. We're going to give up our plan and we're going to trust his plan. Sometimes his plan gets crazy and doesn't make sense, but we trust that God's plan is good. Just like I trusted Jeff's plan, even though I couldn't see what he was doing. I was like, you know what? I'm going to trust Jeff, go with his plan. Faith is about trusting God and going with his good plan, and Moses did that. So we're going to look really fast through Moses' life. You guys are going to remember it while you're at home. Just yell out, even if I can't hear it. Tell me what's going on in the story, okay? So, here's Moses. First thing that happens, you guys remember? God shows up to Moses in a burning bush. Moses, a shepherd, just going along with his life, his plan. He's going to watch the sheep. That's his life. And God shows up. Oops. God shows up in a bush, burning, and he says, hey, Moses, I've got a plan for you. You're not going to be a shepherd anymore. I need you to go get the slaves from the Egyptians, my people, the Israelites, and we're going to free them. And Moses, like anybody else, was like, whoa, kind of like how I was with Jeff. Whoa, I don't think so. Not doing it. There must be somebody else, some other way, some other plan. Moses was probably thinking, I'm just going to stay and be the shepherd and you go find somebody else because I don't think I can do this. But eventually, Moses decides to go. He shows up to Pharaoh. Does Pharaoh listen? Look at poor Moses. He's like, okay, God, I'm trusting you. This is a scary king. And does the king listen? He says no to Moses a lot. Moses says, let my people go. Pharaoh says, nope, not going to do it. Moses says, let my people go. Pharaoh says, nope, not going to do it. And finally, God says, Moses, if he says no, we're going to do these plagues. You guys remember the plagues? All this bad stuff that happened. He's like, we're going to do these plagues against the Egyptians, and then we'll see if he'll let the Israelites free. So we're not going to go through all of them, but some stuff happened. God sent a river of blood. He sent some bugs. He sent some hail. The livestock died. They got some boils on their skin. And finally, at the end, all their firstborn babies were killed, except for the Israelites. Remember, they painted the blood on their doorpost, and God passed over those people, right? So all the plagues happened. I'm sure Moses is thinking, this plan, I don't know about this plan, God. I had my plan. I was just going to watch some sheep. Now I'm like fighting with the king. You won't let the people go. We've got all these plagues. But Moses is like, but I know you're good, so I'm going to keep trusting you, right? So he keeps going. Finally, Pharaoh lets him free. You guys remember this part of the story? After he lets him free, Pharaoh says, nope, I got to go get him. And he starts chasing him. And Moses gets to the sea, and God says, hold up your staff. It split the sea. The Israelites walked through safely. And then when they got through safely, the water came back down and covered the Egyptians. And God saved the Israelites. Another scary time, Moses had to trust God. The plan's kind of crazy. Doesn't make sense all the time. But God's plan is good. Moses kept trusting him. They're trying to get to the promised land. God said, I'm going to save my people from slavery. We're going to get to the promised land, a land that's good, where you're going to be my people. That's what they're trying to do. That's where Moses is taking them. But at the end of his life, Moses gets so close to the promised land. God even shows him it. But God doesn't let him go there. He sees it, but he doesn't actually get to take the people into the land. And I was thinking about that, and that's exactly what faith is. That's what Hebrews 11 is talking about. That if we have faith, we're going to trust God even when we don't get the promise, right? God said the promise is the Israelites are going to get a land for my people to go live in. You're going to help lead them there. But at the end of his life, Moses didn't get to go. Actually, Joshua got to take him, not Moses. But Moses trusted him anyways, because faith is trusting what we can't see. And it's doing it even if we don't get there, right? Because eventually God has a greater promise for us. And the best way I can explain that to you guys is I want you to think about your mom's plan or your dad's plan and your plan. So I thought about your mom's plan for your life, and this is might be what it would be, right? She wants you to eat vegetables. She wants you to go to bed early. She wants you to go to school, and you're probably like, this plan stinks. Because if I had it my way, my plan would look something like this. I'd be playing video games, I'd be on my iPad, I'd be staying up late and partying with my friends, I'd have some candy and some soda, forget the vegetables. That would be my plan. Now, why would you follow your mom's plan instead of your plan? Why would your mom even want you to follow her plan? That seems like a lame plan. The reason is because your mom has been through more and knows more than you, and she knows what's good for you. And she knows what's best for you. That's why she does those things for you. And that is why you trust her and you sit down and you just eat what she makes you. Because you trust that she's giving you what's best for you. That's why you go to bed early instead of, where's your plan? Instead of jumping up and down or putting on your iPad. Because you know your mom wanting you to sleep is what's best for you, because your mom would do what's best for you, or your grandma would do what's best for you, and you trust them with that, right? You don't just walk around doing whatever you want because you trust that your mom has a great plan for you, even though you can't see how that plan's going to work out yet, right? You just have to trust her each day with the decisions she makes. And that's what faith is. We're saying, God, just like Moses trusted God each day with whatever God had for him, even though he couldn't see the promised land, he said, you know what, God, I trust that you know what's best for me. I trust that you know what's good. God says that he works all things together for good for those who believe and are called according to his purpose. His plan is good, and we trust him. That's what faith is. Even if we can't see what the plan is until we die and get to heaven. Sometimes God's just using us for a little part of his story, and when we get to heaven, we get to see, wow, that's why God used me there. So that's what faith is. We've got to trust God's plan, not ours, even though we may not see why he's doing it or what the whole picture is. We're trusting him, just like Moses did, right? Just like you trust your parents, even though you don't like it and can't see why they're making you do it, you trust them and you go with their plan. Same thing with God. So, challenge, be like Moses, trust God's plan. That's what faith is. Even though we can't see what he's doing all the time, we're going to trust him. Okay, that's what faith is. We know we're going to make some pictures in class, but Keenan's going to put a link at the bottom of this video for you guys to click on, and it's going to have a coloring sheet. And you guys can color at home while we're coloring at church. We're making a Hall of Fame. Not only Moses and Abraham and Noah get to be in the Hall of Fame, the Hall of Faith, God says that we can too. All it takes is faith. We just got to trust God's plan. Okay? So while you're coloring at home, remember that this week we're just going to trust God each part of the way. Every day we're going to trust him, and that's what faith is. Okay? You guys have a great week. Tune in on Tuesday. We're going to have some fun games with Abby and probably Charity. And I hope you guys have a good week.